We don't need screaming matches every. Like,
and
that's
I don't
want to
see that every episode. Hey guys, welcome to Overanalyze with Dom and Kyla.
Well, hello everybody.
So we still have to talk about Mary in church.
Yeah.
And
there's one more relationship scene, Britani and
Jerad. So
which makes me squirm.
It is squirm worthy
for him,
but they hug. They're affectionate, but she knew his drink. So I was just, there's more there than there is with a lot of the others. The outfit was silly. I think we missed a lot of the conversation because he goes straight into, I heard you were flirting on the boat.
Oh my. And you could tell, if you see her face, she was like, motherfucker, I just went through a traumatic time and you're coming at me with this of information. Like, you weren't there and neither was Whitney's husband.
But you know what helped with that? The fact that we had just saw everyone at Whitney's house and they asked Heather when she saw Lisa and she said yesterday. So I'm like, this is probably 2 days since they've been back. This is still very, very fresh for Britani that this just happened. So I've seen him once before on this season. I do not like him.
I don't either.
I do not like the two of them together. I think Britani has to do a lot. I think he is gross. I think he is definitely gaslighting her. I have broken up with people on the weekend so I could do what I wanted to, and then we're back. That was probably 25 years ago. He's doing that now as an adult. I think is despicable. But I thought we were taking a 30-day break, but then I text you.
No 30-day.
No, but then I text you and you reach out. Here's the thing. If you, Dom, right now said, I'm going to be amazing at whatever, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If you don't think something is going to pop up to distract you to see if you're really going to do it, that is silly. Anything you say you're going to do, even, Dom, I'm coming over at 11:30. All right, Kyla, it's 10:55, get in the car. What time? I was here, 11:34. All that to say, if you say you're going to do something, it's just human nature to be like, are you really going to do it? What hurdles can we put in your way to make sure you really decided you're going to do it or you're not? For me to say I'm taking a 30-day break, and then I'm here talking to you 4 days later and you're surprised because what you wanted me to say, we're not talking right now.
What does that accomplish?
It's a test and it's so juvenile, but also like, Britani, please, you have to know this will continue if you guys are together. You have to. I was surprised he didn't say, I heard the unicorn got wet, because that conversation was so trivial. I literally was dumbfounded. I was like,
well, you do know, I
could not date at this age, and I'm 41. There's no way, because I would be like, I'm losing brain cells right now. I'm leaving.
Yeah, it's really toxic, especially like.
If everyone out there is like Jerad, and I'm just like, he is not unattractive. If you could, I like that there was affection.
I hope they have great sex, because I'm like I hope that's your one redeeming quality. You know how to like lay it down.
No, I mean, he looks good in his shirt. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, I hope he knows how to be good at all of that, because he has no redeeming qualities.
We're trying to say we hope you're digmatized, and that is why you are still so obsessed. I'm not sure. I think maybe there was love. I didn't see them last season.
Same shit.
But I do think
this has been the whole shtick between them two. It's like, we're together, break up together, break. It's that. This is all it's been.
You guys know I'm extremely biased. I work for myself. I work at home. I am very selective with who I spend time with.
Yep.
If I was going to meet someone
in the woods
to do something, it was a trail. It was a park trail. I can't even think of anything trivial enough to discuss that conversation. Hey, Dom, I just failed the bar exam. Oh man, did you bring a sweater with you to the test? Their conversation, they were right beside each other and completely lost. I was literally like, dumbfounded is the perfect description, because I was watching and I was like, I don't understand. And then I'm like, okay, yes, because she's like, what are you talking about? You tell me you'll have a relationship with me if I prove to you that I'm stable, but you keep testing me to show that I'm not stable because you want to see how much I'm really obsessed with you. And I'm not dealing with this. I'm walking away the slowest possible way. Oh, Britani, come here. We'll get it together as soon as you're stable.
I didn't like any of that.
I was like, I don't know one person who would speak to me that way.
But remember, we kind of
it broke my heart.
It does.
infuriated.
Because it's another fucking guy trying to blame all his trauma and shit and being a misogynistic prick on a innocent woman who clearly has some sort of trauma within herself. Manipulative
he knows
people.
That she likes him more than he likes her.
Now, I told that story last week. I dated a guy like he knew my weak. This is not a foreign concept. When you were that kind of a piece of shit guy, which I'm about guys specifically, you want like, okay, I know like I want to fuck someone occasionally. I want them to give me love sometimes when I think it's convenient for me when I'm lonely. But then I want to fuck other people. Sometimes I want to go on dates because I want to feel like that thing, that romanticized thing. And then I want it to go
before it gets hard. You want the easy part.
So you want all this stuff. You meet the person that can give that to you because this person's a little broken. They want love. And when I do break up, whatever you want to fucking call it, I know they're going to come across. Exactly. He knows what he's doing. That's why he is a despicable human being.
Yeah.
As dramatic as that sounds. And to put your bullshit onto her, well, when you're stable, I'm sorry, you are a piece of shit.
And that word specifically, because she uses that word to describe Meredith. So I think that word specifically was so unfair.
And I understand that. Listen, I have a whole podcast called that because I have been called unstable before. And here's the thing. I turn it around something that's empowering for myself. But listen, when he kept saying that to her, I don't want to say trigger is a very dramatic term, but it just brings something into me. I'm like, oh, fuck, I know what that feels like to be called the opposite, but same shit. He's implying that she is unstable.
But it's stupid because he likes her like that because he knows she'll keep coming around.
Well, that's what I mean.
If they said they were taking a break,
then go away.
If he said, hey, just in case you forget me, here's this unicorn. You know what? Keep it for the 30 days. He would be tripping over himself to get her attention.
It's simple.
But even that part is fucked up because that's still a game.
All of it. Well, here's the thing. All of it. There's nothing about it that's not fucked up.
He doesn't.
That's why this is so. And I'm actually, and I love her, but I'm also over this whole storyline of like, I don't want to see this and I don't want to watch this play out. There's nothing to play. I don't want to watch this anymore.
But did it change now that you are a Britney fan? Did you feel a little bit more like, yeah, Jerard sucks?
I've always felt this way about her.
Okay.
Last season, I was annoyed. I'm like, this is so stupid. But it's quite clear, like, no, he's an asshole. And she is a sensitive person who's been through, I'm assuming, some relationship trauma. He's tapped into it. I have no sympathy for him. I have all the sympathy and empathy for her. And I feel bad that she doesn't know her own worth to be like, okay, you are a fucking asshole. I deserve way better than this. So I'll kick you to the curb. She doesn't have that in her right now.
She doesn't have it yet. Because the thing is, should she come back and stay and she's going to get she's going to meet an amazing man in New York City. He's not going to be from New York. He's at her cabaret show, all of the things. And then Jerard will be like, wow, you look so good. And now she will have to decide, am I done with this? That's a very real
possibility, too.
Well, because the universe tests you like that. It's like if you are actually doing a great job, wow, you've actually saved $1,000, now your car breaks. Well, what are you going to do?
There's another part to this. Happen. I don't know if this has entered her mind. From me, that knows a little bit about, I know how this can kind of feel sometimes. I'm always seeking validation from other people.
Validation is not a bad thing. It's if you don't give yourself it as well.
Right. It can be when it is when you define yourself. When it's simply like, okay, you know what? I'm a fucking good person. I work really hard. I have this going for me. Now, I also need the recognition and the validation from people who see it also that know like, okay, maybe I'm not doing it. There's a whole thing. When you are simply looking for validation from men to define you and how you... He told me he thinks I'm pretty. Fuck yes. Now I know I'm hot shit.
Yeah.
That's when you should know you're hot shit. And it should only feel.
You're just reminding me.
Right. It's the extra credit when it's like, okay. Because we all want, like, from our partner, we want to hear those types of things. Like, okay, they think I'm hot, sexy, want to be with me. You're this, you're that. Yes. You should think about all those things about yourself first and foremost. It's classic. When you are depending on someone else to tell you all the things that you want to believe in yourself, that solves nothing. Then you get into this bullshit cycle where you're with a narcissistic, manipulative guy.
But do you think he ever even did that for her?
Who knows? Probably not. My guess is probably not. But who knows? Maybe maybe at some point he was a decent guy when they started going on dates and he seemed like a nice person. And maybe,
were they dating before they were on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she comes on as a friend.
This has always been
a +1.
But this has always been the gist from her when she started the show last season.
So does she like the drama? I thought to ignore your children and possibly not have them be number one. It was some whirlwind, amazing, obsessive thing. And I think we have the obsessive without the whirlwind and the magical part. Damn. A child is here and is always here. the boyfriend can come and go, and we get that tug-of-war, that kind of fun drama.
Well, I think...
And that's the part that she likes.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of her that's choosing it too.
Right. Maybe this is the naive part of me. Even though it's incredibly complex. If I'm a spectator, I'm not... and I mean this for myself.
When you're in it, it's different.
It's different. It's hard.
You don't see it for a while.
Right, and she's a prime example of what she's experiencing.
Yeah.
Assuming this is all whatever. We are who we are based upon our life experiences. All good and all the bad. I'm not a parent, so I have the liberty of feeling or experiencing it this way and seeing both sides to it. Do I 100% agree that her relationship with her kid and choosing, that is so horrifying to me because I can't imagine my mother doing that.
Yeah.
Especially when we see our mothers typically, and I'm generalizing, but women are nurturers. They are badass women that could do multifaceted, that in my opinion can do everything, but they are especially as a gay man, I look to women as my safe haven. And when they're not, I think I've talked about this with you, when they're not that, especially like conservative women that are not like for gay marriage and gay people and trans people, it is horrifying to me because I'm like, you're supposed to be our safe place. Like it's those asshole misogynistic guys that are going to bully us, and you're supposed to be our safe place. And maybe that's a naive point of view. However, I don't look at it so cut and dry of like, there is reason why we are the way that we are. That I think if people like write her off of like, well, you're a shitty mom, fuck you. I don't know if it's so cut and dry like that. There's a reason why. So. Especially if she clearly had, the daughter even said like, we used to do this and that and whatever. So clearly it's not that. She fell into maybe she suffers from depression. And
but her daughter is 19. She's been with him 3 years, and the daughter says at 13, your mom. So there was a lot of stuff before.
What I would like to know is the daughter's dad, what was her relationship with him? We don't know that. Maybe he beat the fuck out of her. We don't know. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. So
or was jealous of her being on stage and all that.
Or maybe it's not physical. And I don't know. This is just...
God, emotional abuse. And now you're getting that from the girls.
That's what I'm talking. So a lot of people want to write certain things off without asking the questions to yourself. Or I'm not going to write somebody off because we see them 45 minutes per episode. And not even them the full 45 minutes.
And that's edited by somebody. Yeah,
so who knows what, like, we don't know anything about her, I'm assuming ex-husband. Her ex, I don't know.
I do like that we're not Britney sympathizers. We're just more committed to her story.
Well, I sympathize
and I do
for
like
her.
that. I am excited to see her at the reunion and to see the clips and be like, I could picture Andy. How did you feel watching that at the park? You know what I mean? And she's like, well, I really felt like, I'm trying. And he's really not listening because I don't think he has any incentive to listen to her.
Which that is hard to see too. Like, again, when you're an outsider, to your point, when you said when you're in it, it's very different. When you're watching, say, like a good friend of yours, they are bending over backwards just to get this one guy to just simply appreciate and like them and love them and be. She said in an episode, she's like, will you be my boy? She didn't ask him, but she's like, she just want him to be her boyfriend. That breaks my heart for somebody because I'm like, you should not have to chase somebody.
But I think she is the kind of woman who grew up with someone saying, oh, he picks with you because he likes you. Oh, he pulls your hair because he likes you. I think she thinks this kind of tug of war is like, no, that's how much he's showing me he's around.
So that's a really good point because I would say
and that's bullshit.
There's a point in this I have yet to hear when she's done, like, which is kind of funny because it always has an undertone within the show. There's a religious aspect that I have to imagine plays a role with her. I think she grew up Mormon. I don't think she converted. I don't know. I should look into that, but I know she is Mormon and still practicing Mormon. There are a lot of bells and whistles and rules, especially when it comes to relationships. There's a lot of shit on the Mormon church that I would not be surprised to learn if it played a role in having some sort of trauma in terms of men.
Wow.
You hear it from Heather Gay a lot of like her trauma from that. So, I mean, I don't often hear that come up. That I wonder if, and I don't think she will talk about that because she's still a practicing Mormon. So I don't even think she
probably knows that that's a part of it.
Or if she does, maybe she's not ready to, talk about it. Brittany, I love you. Come on this. I bet you should come on this podcast.
I know. I just remember I'm supposed to reach out to her.
We're going to reach out.
But that's a good segue.
To what,
because
Mary? Oh, yeah, religion. Mary.
We get to see Mary visit the church again. And she went a couple episodes ago and like, it wasn't completely ready, the pews and stuff like that. First, she goes back with her son, Robert Jr.
Yeah.
And they sit there and they talk, and he talks about how
conversation.
Yeah. It was nice. Oh my gosh, he looks just like her. So is she married now?
Yeah, she's still with her husband.
He just never is on the show.
He doesn't want to be part of it anymore.
Okay, yeah. I respect that from him. Yeah. I wasn't sure if Mary divorced, he's widowed.
Remember, it's her step grandfather that she's married to.
You've told me that a while ago, and I was trying to block it today. I sent you that link because
it kind of came up at Bravocon about the documentary.
I was kind of trying to block it. But that's why
it was hard for me in this episode when it's about her church.
Because I was just so surprised. I was like, wow, her son looks exactly like her.
I know. I felt
bad. And so he's talking about how he was at an AA meeting and his friends were...
Oh, he went to rehab in Malibu.
Yeah, and his friends were lost and needed the light.
Oh, that makes me...
But I was so happy that they were chatting and talking. I was like, okay, this is great. And I also was trying really hard not to think about myself because I went to a church that had a very distinct pew.
I know. I was
going
to say, I have questions for you when I watch this. Yeah.
And I was just like, Sunday clothes are a whole thing where it's like, you only have clothes you wear on Sunday. It's your best dresses and you need shoes you don't wear any other time.
So let's get forward to the church scene when they all go to church. So was that like, you growing up in the church, was this like your experience or was it more like...
No, it was just like this.
Wah, wah.
No. So Mary invited everyone
but Brittany.
Everyone but Brittany to the church. And we might find out she invited her and she didn't go.
She did. Mary said she didn't invite her.
And so Bronwyn is there first. And then I thought it was so funny that
Angie knew the aunt.
She's like, hey.
I know, I
and
love
you're
that.
like, oh my God, Angie and Bronwyn. And she wasn't even talking to her. She knew all the
I love when
people.
Bronwyn's like, of course she knows everybody.
I feel like Angie will run for mayor. Of course she knows everyone.
Love
and
Angie.
So Meredith had that broken ankle with a boot on her foot.
Did you hear Heather's like, was it from kicking Brittany?
Lisa shows up in all black, and then the episode ends with her talking about the Church of Satan.
Oh yeah, I have that down. She's like, well, she donates. She's like, I donate to you in the Church of Satan.
I was like, is this how you feel about the people who are drinking your tequila? I was like, I don't understand.
Well, I love when the producer was like,
wait, what?
Because I thought she meant like a monetize, like money.
I think she like.
And she said her tequila. She's like, no, churches are
sacrificing goats in the backyard. I was like, what is she talking about?
I don't care.
Ma'am, were you drunk? Or they're gonna have to talk about that in the reunion.
Yeah,
so they get to the church and Mary can't get in the door, and I think it's so funny because they're recording her from the other side. They're asking, and I'm like, the producer can't go open the door. I just think the show is so.
There was a scene last season that was hilarious.
Okay,
where I said Meredith was doing her bat mitzvah. And they're all in the synagogue. And they all had these huge windows, but they all had curtains on them.
Meredith is converting. It was her bat mitzvah?
Meredith. Yeah, she's Jewish, but she never did a bat mitzvah.
Oh, wow. I want to watch
it was
that.
It was very nice because she was coming into her faith of
like
Judaism.
Charlotte,
so, but she's in there. She's doing her like that. I guess they have to read. I don't know if it's a Torah. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to like overstep and not. But she's doing her thing. And they're all there, and they go. You see like how they're not like, what is that? And it's Mary behind trying to get in, and she's like looking through the curtains.
So she's late.
So yeah. So I think it was I think it was a playoff because it was such a hilarious. You see her going like, how do I get in here?
Mary is so funny,
unapologetically funny,
and it's almost like she's not even aware of like her space and surroundings. Because she's
but that's the beauty of Mary Cosby. That's why I think she's one of the realest and funniest because this is not an act. This is like good, bad, and ugly.
I don't know. The Mary I want to talk to is when she has her confessionals and she's like that. She gives the most lucent and direct right there. These other ones are kind of giving like Shecky. It is. No, it depends because she was very like. I think it depends on when she's comfortable. Because when she was at Whitney's house, I feel like that was very like. No, I didn't record anything.
She can be. And I don't.
You'll hear it.
We interpret that as maybe like shade. She's not a strategic person in the sense like. This is gonna get a laugh. I just think she is who she is.
But I think it's nice, nasty though. I don't think it's
probably, but I think that's really kind of,
that might just be who she is.
Part of like she is a straight shooter.
Yeah.
There's no gray area with Mary Cosby.
Yeah. No. Her outfit, that red. I'm gonna put up on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Loved it.
She looked phenomenal.
I also loved Heather and Whitney driving. She's like, because Heather had never seen her, and then she's like. Is this like our church? Because Mormons were really boring. Like, very white.
She's like, no, it's very likely.
I know. It's like very white. Mormon church, very white. Like,
the churches we were going to, my husband and I, when we first got married, were more like that.
Story of my life.
So she looked amazing. It made me think of Sunday clothes because we definitely used to have like a section of your closet that was only clothes you wore to church. Then the cynical side of me was like, oh, fabulous gown. Did the tithe money pay for that?
Okay, thank you for saying that.
And I hated myself for that.
That has always been a conversation with Mary in the church. That's why I think where some of this comes from, the whole cult documentary and all that, is because here she is sitting in that beautiful red dress. She's talking to her cousin, and you look over, that's her Chanel bag. We see in her closet, and
the leather glove.
Leather glove. And we know she's a fashion. She tells us this. This is not like a speculation.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I'm a huge Mary Cosby fan now. I wasn't always.
Mm-hmm.
I love her character. I have a hard time, and I've talked about this with you. Like religion, I find religion fascinating. I do love talking about it I love culture. I love religion. I love cults. Not because I want to be a part of it. I love learning. This is all educational type stuff.
You like the psychology behind how people
obsessed
get wrapped
with it.
up
Exactly.
like this. Yes.
He's
not a cult leader.
No. My dog won't even listen to me. I don't have no charisma. So here's the thing. The way I talk about it, especially what I'm about to say, I feel like it's giving like religious trauma. I have a handful of church experiences of like going with my grandmother. I'm from a Catholic family on my dad's side. My mom's side's Mormon. I have been to a Mormon church. No disrespect to my family. I find it very uncomfortable to watch a Mormon baptism. And plus I know other history of other things within the Mormon church. Catholicism, incredibly skewed. I don't have to tell anybody that. Look at the priests. It's all out there.
Yeah.
So all of it, I just find it very I don't like it. But my grandmother, interesting story. She experimented with other things, and I forgot what kind of church this was. But she took me one day, not a beautiful, it was almost like a strip mall almost or something.
Okay.
And I'm playing with all these kids, and I could see her down this, not even a hall, it was this open room.
Yeah.
And they were doing one of those things where they're yelling, and she felt one of those, what is that
laying
called?
hands.
Yeah, but it was they were almost
speaking in tongues.
Yes, and she felt, and my grandmother had really bad arthritis.
Oh, it scared you?
Till this day, it's burned in my brain. And I remember, do you remember those infomercials, like Benny Hinn and all that? And they're fire, and you see them almost having a seizure, and they fall down to the ground. That stuff, when I tell you.
So when you saw it this time, you were like, no!
My and I love, as we know, my grandmother's passed this past year, and I love her.
Puna, or which one?
My dad's mom.
Okay.
And I was like, Mom, what the fuck is that? I was like a 5-year-old, what the fuck was that?
Is grandma okay?
I did. They were like, it's okay. They were trying to, I was freaking out. I remember one of the it's okay, she's fine. Because she couldn't fall to the ground because she was older.
They carry you. There's always someone standing behind you.
And I was just I can see it in my brain. And I don't want to say we laugh about it. No, we kind of do. It was her experimental.
They probably laugh at your reaction.
Well, it was a little. I was like,
well, that's very anti-Catholic church. It's
that's
very
what I mean. And it was a short-lived experimental thing. But I would say somehow
it's not funny, but that's so funny.
But it's something. So I don't have religious trauma per se. You grew up in the church.
I don't know. That sounds really traumatic.
I know. Well, that scene definitely was. But when I see religious leaders, and they have the Joel Osteens, all those bullshit guys that have jets and all this kind of, I find it so disgusting. And I love Mary Cosby, but I'm you're showing up, and we know your closet's full of designer goods. You're showing up to the church with a Chanel bag.
But wait, she's showing up on her TV show. She gets paid from that as well.
This was far beyond her on Salt Lake City Housewives. This was going back to season 1, and she had this whole closet full of shit. And then McMansion.
When you work for a church, the church does pay you. And they pay you from the tithes. All of those tithes are the things that are fixing the benches and turning on the lights. And they do pay you for speaking.
Sure.
They'll either give you what's called a love offering, which is like an envelope at the end for you actually speaking. But they actually do pay you because... Now, what surprised me was Mary said, I never prepare. A lot of the churches I've gone to, they are preparing the week of. Right. They prepare. They find out the scriptures they're going to say. A lot of them have dress rehearsals with your music team.
Sure. I'm sure they had all that.
So now the lady who was, I forget her name. It was the first one that Angie spoke to.
It's like her aunt.
Yes. So sometimes there are people who will jump that off, and then it kind of, the spirit spreads through the whole building. And then... Yeah. No, not even they feel it and they do it. Sometimes you just start dancing, and then people will start dancing around you.
Yeah, that makes me very uncomfortable to watch.
It has a very performative nature to it, but the Pentecostal church, yes, it definitely does that. Now, later on in my life, I went to non-denominational churches, which were a lot more...
It's like the New Age church type
like things. The Hillsong, which they have their own...
I was going to say, that's even more type. These young New Age church where they have bands and auditoriums.
That's how they get you at 15, and then you're just locked in, and you're just
makes me so, like the Rock City church here that we have, like my ex-boyfriend like designed that church. Like,
really?
And I was like, I used to be like, that's so like that shit for again.
But they paid him with the tithe money.
Great, and as they should, because I'm like, well, where's that money? I'm sorry, you showing up in a fucking Chanel bag, thousands of dollars, and she has a closet full of.
Well, why does she have to show up and look impoverished and regular just because it's church?
That's not.
That's its own opposite of a double standard.
No, you can go to Goodwill and buy a nice outfit.
Why does she have to look pious? Why does she have to look?
Looking presentable does not mean wearing Gucci head to toe. It goes.
But doesn't that fit? If she showed up,
no, I think it's.
If she showed up in a J. Crew dress, you'd be like, "Why is she wearing that just for church?" You would.
Oh, hold on. No, I absolutely not, and I take offense to that.
Okay.
Because this is where my religious trauma comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Church, and we're seeing this right now. For one, church has never respected me or my life, right? Yes, give someone enough time to live. Yes. If that is the case, all these fucking churches that are not paying taxes, mind you.
Yeah, it's the excess you don't like.
Why do we have homeless people so much on this? Why is there a homelessness problem? Why are there children starving? So no, that money, Mary Cosby, love you. That $6,000, I'm sure you pay for that one Chanel bag. We know we have several others in that closet. We've seen her closet.
Them up. Yeah.
Why make some? I would love someone to give me an educated answer of like why that is okay. You can go to Goodwill, go to fucking H&M.
To quote Sex and the City, I would explain it to you, but you're so fired up right now, you're not going to care.
Probably not, because
the Bible always says the homeless and the poor will always be with you, and so I don't know if there is.
What does that mean?
It kind of sounds like you can do as much as you can, but you're not going to change everything.
You know what? If there was a homeless dude on the street, or woman, or family. What do you do? Oh, I have my own church.
Yeah.
And I preach at it. And I'm walking around with Christian Louboutin shoes and a Chanel bag. I'm going to tell you, like, you can go fuck yourself. Hands down. I grew up in a trailer. I would. That's disgusting.
Here, let me give you a 20 out of my.
I'm like, no, I would take 1,000.
Out of my Gucci bag.
Because why? Because you can clearly give 1,000.
Can she? You don't know if that's debt. You don't know if that's her husband's money.
I'll tell you what, I think it's incredibly offensive to
because
those
she's
that
a church
are
leader.
Yes.
So what if they have a soup kitchen in the back? What if the clothes were donated?
I think it says all about your character that you don't need to be wearing designer goods. The same way we hold tech billionaires, right? To an account of like, and they treat their workers, they give them minimum wage, lay them off, don't give them the right benefits.
Speaking of
same shit.
Did you see that the Met Gala is going to be sponsored by Amazon next year?
No.
People are pissed. They're like, if you go to
that's the end of this.
They said, if you go to this, you are agreeing with everything he has ever done.
You're right. I agree with that. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I just saw the theme.
That was all on my timeline last night.
Oh,
they were like, we hope people do not go because that, or at least you just need to understand if you go, you are agreeing to everything Bezos has ever done. And I was,
why them?
I don't know if they need the money. I don't know if people aren't visiting the museum. I don't know how that works. But
I guess, who was it before?
I think the museum just put it on like just donations from the museum. I know.
That ruins everything. I did not know that. You don't have to show up, own a church, preach at it, whatever. I know. When you go to church, you sit in these pews, these families that don't have much, and they all look nice. You don't have to look. We already know this is not news flesh. You have fast fashion. You have to go to H&M.
Church has always been a fashion show, though. It is very much. But
you can do all that by buying that anywhere else besides Louis Vuitton.
No, I get it. To go in a different way. Mm-hmm. One of the things where I knew I had to leave church was when a guy was staying with me all the time because I was having sex. My car was repossessed and I couldn't make it to church. He said he was going to pay the bills and I trusted him to do it. And
then, he's paying for your car?
Well, because he was staying over. And I was like, well, if we're using the car together and you pay for it. And then we're sitting on the couch and I'm like, sounds like someone's car is getting...
They got raped.
And I looked out the window, it was my car. He was like, I hadn't paid it for a couple months. I was like...
I bet you're not telling me that.
You are dead to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm an acts of love person. You don't have to tell me, show me you not paying my car note.
My God,
that we both take care.
What a horrible person.
But my car's repossessed. I couldn't make it to church and they were mad I couldn't be there that day. And I was like, I literally do not have a car right now. Can someone help me with this part? Can someone even offer to pick me up? And I was like,
and did they?
I don't think you guys care. No, they were pissed.
Okay. And that further validates my point.
Unfortunately, it does. You say this every episode. It is all incredibly complicated and layered. My mom has always been a proponent of keeping your eyes open when you pray, because she's like, the Bible only says lower your head, like bow your head. She never closed her eyes. So she'll like be
looking everyone.
Most people are like eyes closed or head down, and she's just looking around the room. Because she says prayer is the thing that you think about all day long. It's not being on your knees talking.
Mary said that?
No, it's what my mom says.
I was like, okay, I love that.
My mom is like, if you are thinking, I hate this person, I hate this person, you suck, and then you sit down and pray and say, I hope they have a good day. Your actual prayer is, I hate this person, they suck. She thinks that prayer is actually what you're doing all day. So she is not religious in that aspect. But we did have a Sunday church section, and so, but I do know that you have an issue with excess. And so that's
to a certain extent. Yeah, I do.
Be comfortable.
And she ain't no billionaire. Exactly. She ain't no billionaire. I'm not saying that. So I'm not holding her to Jeff Bezos level. They're all. It's almost like, you know who, Billie Eilish. Like, why are you a billionaire? Everyone should be celebrated for earning their bag, right? If you work hard for it, why not? But you know, these they don't pay taxes, so it's not like they ain't helping pave the streets or doing what we have to do, and I make tremendous lot of less money than her.
I was talking about that for the government shutdown. Why are you still taking taxes?
Well, they're not from churches,
and who could you even say, well, I'm not going to pay my taxes? It's so systematic.
It's a fucked up situation. That's why I'm like, you know what? At this point, if she was buying all that money with her Housewives money, that's one thing. But she wasn't.
And I kicked this off because I said she looked so good up there.
And she did. But, you know, it almost like, you know what, girl, you're on TV. Don't bring the Chanel bag on the scene. You know what I mean? Like, not today.
And then I'm the opposite. Girl, you're on TV. Of course she's going to bring the Chanel bag. And that, it honestly looked like a Christian Siriano dress. The draping was beautiful.
And this is also not a new concept. I think about Sex and the City, too. Remember when she...
Church and fashion,
yeah. So it's not, this is not a Mary thing. And I love Mary. And I'm sure she'll hear this and hate me because now I just criticized her.
No, she won't. She'll pray for you.
Too late. So God bless. But I did love her. I love what she said. I love when she pointed every girl out, said something nice to them and her. I don't even know what you call that. Wait,
except for Lisa. She said, God sends you a sound by. I was like...
And she was like, yeah, quite.
I did like that. I like that they all went. I liked that they sat separately. They weren't going to pretend
like I was wondering that. And I'm like, are they going to sit together?
I think it was probably easier for filming as well. But I did like that they were separate.
Inconvenient.
Okay, so Mary's son was not there.
He was high, yeah.
She said we got up that morning.
That would hurt. That was her.
You know what I thought
this was like
hard?
her moment, you know, like, that made me feel sad for her.
It made me sad because I was like, if your church is opening for the first time in 2 years, I'm sure there was a part of her that was like, I can't go. I have to be here with him. I do not envy her and having to make that decision. And you know what? Maybe she had on a simple dress and was like, if I'm going to do it, I got to feel good.
And I wouldn't want my son to go. If like that, I get that.
No, because the thing is, you can see when someone is high, you can see the vacantness in their eyes.
You don't want me, when I'm stoned, you do not want me in your church. Just saying. And I don't know how he acts, but I get it. And it doesn't even matter how you're acting. Like, I get it. It's like, you're not of sound mind.
That is.
Then.
Yeah. Well, also, but like, we just talked about this and I thought you were doing well. And so now I'm like.
I don't think he is. I think he was arrested recently for domestic violence. And I feel for her because I know that it's her son, her only son.
Did they say?
20s.
Okay.
Early 20s. He's not,
I wonder how she feels as like, you can't just pray that and it's gone.
This is also my other issue, part of my religious trauma with religious people. And there's somebody in my life that's kind of like this. They're a religious person, spiritual, whatever. So when she says that she's talking to her cousin about that, she's like, it's just not his time.
Why do they sit so far apart? Is that for filming?
I don't know. He was like not even sitting like on the couch. He was like kneeling. I'm like, what the fuck? So she says that, right? And it was like, I can't remember all her words, but she's like, it wasn't his time. Okay, love that. Yeah. It's almost like, instead of like leaning into like sadness and empathy, and maybe you could speak to this a little more, hopefully you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, God will take care of it. Like, bad things happen. It's like, you know what? I have my faith. And faith is whatever your faith system is. I have faith, right? It's like when bad things happen, I have found myself going, when it's really bad and I have no more options where I don't know what to do, I'm like, you know what? I'll get through it because God would not want me to go through anything worse. They'll figure it out. So I understand it to a certain extent, but there's sometimes I feel like there's a lack of like humility and empathy where it's just like,
it's kind of flippant.
How about you just I don't want to say break down and cry, but there's like this like,
that's what I'm saying. I
disconnect
feel like,
with like emotion almost. But it's like, well, you know, God will fix it. It's like, well, Hopefully, yes. But like, how about that part of when we're on that, journey of emotion? We're like, this fucking sucks. Like, what the fuck is this happening? And what can I do? Instead of just going, well, God's going to figure it out. It's like, what does that mean?
It does not mean,
and it doesn't always
that
happens that way.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you turn your back and you don't pay attention to what's happening. And I don't think she meant it that way, but I don't think either, it came off that way. Right. It came off very.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's religious people that are so invested in it. Everything goes back to like, well, God will fix. Like, no, because people die. People die of cancer and homelessness and get shot. A lot of times when people say
that, they also are saying, well, it's not my responsibility, or I can't control it, and so let's let somebody else take care of it.
Or is it like I don't care?
But it also speaks to there's not one answer, and it's all very complicated because the way that the churches I went to, the way that they taught you, you read the Bible in a very punishment way. And so the scripture could say something like, hey, there'll be joy every day, but they're like, there'll be joy every day after you honor your parents. And because people are delivering the message, they put their own spin. And it always comes across as very, very punishment, very, very negative, very, very cause and effect. You did this, and so now you get this. And and so I can't say that that's how God, who the universe source, wanted it to be explained. But religious people and highly, highly spiritual people do use that excuse of, well, it wasn't meant to be today. But I also will say, and it's not fair, because she knew she was speaking, going to church is her job. And I don't know what happened when she saw her son and he was high, but she had to say, am I going to work today? And she had to get up and she had to go. And I think if that was not what she wanted to do that day, I hate that she had to do that. Yeah. But also if she was upset, maybe she didn't want to be around her son high either. Because maybe knowing Mary, she probably wants to be like, why are you high right now? Why, right? Why, what do you need? And it's not the time
and
for
she
that.
Kind of said it, this is her calling, like when you're in that kind of frame of mind, like there's other things maybe you can kind of decipher that you can like play off. But like if your kid is like, they're under a substance, no, hands off. I will say this too, and I don't know why this reminded me of that.
So complicated.
Say you're a spectator.
At a church? Spectator?
No. I mean, of life.
Okay.
Taking Mary aside because I've already beaten her down, but all these other like people, and they show up in expensive clothes and bags and cars.
Yeah.
And I don't. So I say I go to church. I write a check. Okay, here's $10, $1,000, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't know where that money's going to.
Yeah.
So when you march your ass in here with a Chanel bag, it's like, well, did I pay for that? And I made the example of like, okay, who's paying for the streets? Because that's not your tax dollars from the church because they don't pay taxes, right? When roads get fixed and we fix infrastructure, that's taxpayer dollars that fix that. We know that. That's why we have levies and tax increases, property.
And that's why they're state and city and local taxes.
So we pay. These are our streets. That's how they should be treated. They forget that sometimes, those people in government. So my point to that, though, is when I'm so hard on this kind of subject, if you are a member of a church and people are constantly giving their money and tidings, whatever, of course, the people in charge need to have a living, right? However, if you walk down the aisle and you're wearing head to toe Gucci, and I'm like, well, who paid for that? And how do I know where's the proof that you are donating that money then to a food kitchen? Or I don't even know how this shit works in terms of what a church donates.
Well, that's where...
Because I hear a lot of like the mega church thing. It's like, instead of being a mega church and doing all this stuff, you should be using that money to help solve all the problems that government's clearly not helping with. Yeah. But there's no transparency of like, well, can I see like, where's the document to show where my money's going to?
Some of them will give you those, but that's mostly been in the recent years.
Well, good. I know that's not in any way could be regulated, but it should be.
Well, the thing is that some people want to know and some people don't. They want to do that. A lot of people want blind faith. Well, and you have to have faith with action and words. You can't do blind faith. You can't do that with anything. Something about gobs and gobs of power corrupts. And even if it's in a church in a spiritual way. And
it can be no different.
Yeah.
Power is power.
I just don't get it. And it's not for me to get, which is okay.
Like, have you ever gave to an organization, or you hear them at least, and you find out there was a scam? And like, okay, there was maybe an animal conservatory, and you realize, no, they were just using that money to do X. That is such a betrayal. Imagine doing that. It's the same thing.
You know what's weird? It was hard for me to start a business because I watched so many documentaries about businesses that go shitty. And I would literally journal and be like, Kyla, you're a great person. This would not happen to you. Because I had to actually say, like, you You can be
but
skeptical, and you can also know that because you're so skeptical, you will not.
But the alternative to that would be like the people, like when you become more successful and you get investors involved and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they can fuck with your money too.
I know. That's why you always have to keep an eye. But I will say this, as a person who definitely used to tithe, and even now I have a giving account and I put 10% aside of like money that I get, but usually we use it for like when my daughter has birthday parties or like when you have a birthday and I'm like, oh great, I got some money there. If you give and you don't have it and then you find out there's a scam.
That's 100%.
First of all, I could barely drive here and then I came and I gave you $5 and then you weren't using it.
That's what I'm talking about.
The levels
and they all created that problem. I did not create this problem. They all did. So they all need to get together, all these churches of all faiths.
And I don't know how they say, hey, if you don't have it, we'll find another way. But if you have it, give. Because what they say is, the Lord wants it. He needs your money. And you're like, here you go. And you're like, but that was also my gas money for the week. So
that's not okay.
I know.
That's not okay. It's like some people
can't give.
That's why I do
not go to organize.
Until that shit can be regulated. I'm like, no.
I mean, I even remember hearing, like, I'm not asking, the Lord wants it. And you're just like, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure God don't need my money.
Well, if you want the church to fix the streets and stuff.
I will donate to organizations that are not beholden to anyone other than being good people.
It's complicated. And I think I was surprised that they showed so much of the church and all of it.
Especially with all her controversy going. Well, at that time,
we'll have to talk about
at that time, that documentary wasn't out. But that has been you saw the clip of
Whitney saying.
Yeah, so that's always been in the ether. That's why you used to not.
She was like, I thought she was a cult
That's why I used to not fuck with Mary. I'm like, no, nope, don't like this. So I saw like things online and about her, like coming from her own family, which I guess the family she doesn't speak to is the one they're involved in this documentary. She
mentioned that where she was like, I wasn't invited to my own mom's.
And I love, like I said, I love Mary Cosby because they brought it up at Bravocon. It's like the whole thing, isn't it sad? Like people, and I hear that, and I'm like, all I hear is deflection. And that's why I'm just like, this is why it's all so gross to me.
I'm watching this episode, and I'm kind of surprised we just talked about it for 2 hours.
I know.
And the only thing I walked away with it was I would never want to be on TV.
Yeah,
that is literally it. And then I also say, oh, I'm so glad Dom trusts me to get a good edit because.
But here's the thing: if you don't,
I was just like, man,
I'm sure you can find something that I say that could be like, okay, just put this soundbite out.
Oh, especially out of context.
Especially out of context. However, if you just are a decent person and say decent things, I feel like, well, what's the problem?
But
I know, but then I'm
gonna have to play the clip from last week where you said something about stroke it the wrong.
Well, that I call Lisa Barlow, like I'm saying this is, but I'm not trying to be other than and whatever. I mean, whatever. But
no, I didn't know that you had that experience when you were a little kid. But I've talked to you multiple times about how I want to be a speaker and be on stage, but the only people I knew were the Benny Hill types. And so you're probably like, oh yeah, I could see why you don't want that. I didn't want that. And I don't have to be that.
I've been to Mormon church, I've been Catholic church. And even as an adult, I remember when I moved back to New York, my family, we could go to church with us one day. And then listen, they're Italian Catholic. They swear up a fucking storm. So they have a pot. Most people don't, and drink, all this stuff, whatever. They're good people though. And that's how it should be. Yeah. We're all multifaceted. We're all flawed. We all commit sins, but being there, I don't know what it is, but I see the whole and I just find it all, and I don't mean any disrespectful, but the whole process of it all, it makes my skin crawl.
Listen, even when I think about
having people dancing around like that, because it seems like, and sorry to cut you off, when I watch that, I can understand, because I've been to a gospel church one. I don't know how I got in, but I went with a friend, and it was like fun dance, like. It was, and I saw some.
It would be like partying.
Yeah, I love that. However, I don't have a recollection of seeing this. I don't know if I was paying attention.
Yeah.
When it looks like almost, again, I don't want to offend anyone, almost like someone's possessed. Like the way that they're like.
It is. You're possessed with the spirit.
Oh my God. And I'm like, that to me, and I see that, I am so highly disturbed.
And I could stand up right now and try to imitate that, but that is not what's happening. It is that you feel so moved by the spirit, you literally jump out of your seat and your body wants to express
it is the same thing.
And
it's reminiscent of watching these people talk in tongues and my grandma, and I'm like,
we talked about that before, where I don't know why one is good and one is bad. Because it is, saying you caught the spirit, what is different than saying you were possessed by something? It is literally the same, but because one thing happens at church, or if it's your house, if it's a house ministry, for whatever reason, now it's good. I don't get it.
That's a good point.
It's
a good question.
Get it.
Well, because when someone's possessed by something, it has a negative connotation to it.
Yes, and it's the devil and it's a spirit, but called the spirit, called the Holy Spirit. They are literally, we were talking about with the tarot cards, where I was like, why is reading your future on cards different than someone saying they're prophesying and the Lord is speaking?
And that's very like people like religious people. They don't fuck with tarot cards and all that stuff.
But mostly it's because I don't want God to be mad at me if he sees me.
I often hear that from those people, like, well, it's not part of my religion. Like, well,
but guess what? He knows in the back of your mind you're cheating or drinking or do whatever.
Right,
he sees all that.
Like, God would not like me do my tarot card reading. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat on my spouse and watch porn.
I'm not gonna do it here. I'll just play on my astrology app
somehow it makes it better. Yeah, somehow makes it better when it's like alone in your bedroom.
Trust me. Even when I think about my daughter she went somewhere with her grandmother and they always buy her clothes. And so she was like, and somebody was like, yeah, they'll look so cute on Easter. I was like, you're wearing that tomorrow. We don't save clothes, because I remember you had your Sunday clothes section.
Yeah.
And if you kept it clean, then you might be able to wear it later that week. Why were you saving clothes? Like, there's this whole built up thing of like, Sunday is the important day and the rest of the day is fuck all. And I just refuse.
Except you're a Jehovah's
Witness.
That's like an everyday thing, if I remember correctly, watching all like those documentaries.
The sad thing is, or not sad, but I guess ironic, because I'm an avid reader, I kind of want to read the Bible now as a to see if I can be objective with it, but I just don't think I would just be like, I'm not interested.
You prefer to not.
I've never read Lolita, and I don't feel like I've missed anything. I just don't think
I don't even think I could interpret it.
This episode was so interesting. It was so completely.
That's what I mean. We had a lot to say because it was very relationship driven and a lot of religious undertone. Well, quite literally because of the end. But at Bravocon, Andy said this episode was like one of his favorites in Housewives history.
Wow.
And here's the thing: I don't know why, but after watching, I'm like,
episode 10.
Yeah. And I saw.
I love that they don't pretend like it's live.
I know.
They're like, the episode coming up is my favorite.
I remember
it was good.
It was good, and I'm like, well, I saw it was one tweet or whatever you're called now, but someone had put like, God, Salt Lake City is the best. And it was on a high every single episode until this one. It was clearly like a filler episode. And I'm like, well, I don't think it was bad.
You know what's funny? I was about to say I really like this episode because there were no filler scenes.
Yeah, well,
and someone else's perspective,
you know what?
It was a filler.
And when I hear someone say that,
they mean there was no argument,
right? And I'm like, we don't need that in every fucking episode. That's too draining. That. We need like calm energy sometimes.
Well, I mean, let's think about it.
But I don't know if it was the best
episode. A walk in the park with your ex-fiance
in high heels.
Somebody going to church. Somebody else going to get pastries with her husband
and have a really deep conversation at a really cold looking bakery. It wasn't even like warm.
And then someone else having a conversation with her husband in the living room.
An uncomfortable one.
And then it started off with a house party. It's pretty boring in terms of it's not people pushing each other and being drunk on a yacht. I'll take that boring. I'm sorry. It was very
normal. These were all, well, I don't know what normal, but it's very like digestible. Yes. We don't need screaming matches that's
I don't
want to
see that every episode. And maybe this is why it's the best season ever, because you actually do get to see the human part.
And I've always said that.
I mean, I know I've been unfair. We're gonna have to review a season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, because I say things like that and then I'm like, no, but I saw Nene talking to her husband. No, but I saw Candy talking to Tom. It wasn't all arguments either, but I do feel like there was a lot of like snarkiness. We have to watch it again and review it, because I think I was seeing it and probably judging it.
I think I'm a Bravo and I am a Housewives super fan. I think I'm the worst nightmare because a lot of people watch these shows and they just it's escapism. So let's talk about like in context of the show. I just can't do that.
Yeah.
Hence how I went on a whole tangent about money in the church because of that fucking thing. And I cannot not look at life that my brain just thinks that way naturally. I'm like, well, hold on. I know this. I can compartmentalize. I didn't say that word. I never can say that word.
Compartmentalize.
Thank you. I can't say it. I've tried so many times. I can't. My brain doesn't work that way. Where I'm like, okay, let's just talk about it in the context of this one.
Mine doesn't either, but that's why we're on a show called Overanalyze.
Because that's what.
But when Bravocon was happening, my phone was blowing up.
I kept sending her.
Dom sent you a clip.
I try to leave it to all the Salt Lake City stuff since that's what.
You know what I noticed though?
Tell me.
I think we should review one season of every.
Yeah, we should.
Series.
I would like. You know what?
You're like, of course.
Well, here's like Beverly Hills.
I think that'd be fun.
Beverly Hills is coming up, and I want to do that with you because I want you to see it because we love bows.
Yeah.
I would love for you to watch Potomac.
Okay.
I feel like you would.
How
love
many
Potomac.
seasons?
It's like 10.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
And I feel like you would really like it.
Why don't I just say, are there more than 3?
All but Rhode Island's the only one because it hasn't premiered yet. They all have 3.
So, you guys, we need $5 donations if you want me to watch the Real Housewives of Rhode Island as it comes out, because I don't like to watch If this is canceled in season 2, Dom, I swear to you,
it won't be. Based upon that trailer, do you at least watch a trailer?
The trailer was very, very good.
I
couldn't understand the accents. It's giving Jersey.
Rhode Island has an accent. Yeah, it's that same like the whole East Coast. Like,
I loved it.
You know, there's like Maine has one.
They showed it, the little tiny blip.
All those East Coast states do.
One of them had like the 2 name Ann Jerry Ann. No, I did watch the clip. I thought it was fascinating.
I love the show. I want to see it. I'm so fascinated by Rhode Island. I've never been to Rhode Island.
Can we talk about the real estate? I was it was giving you live in New York and you drive to the country. So I was looking like.
My point of reference with Rhode Island is Newport, Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. Money, like I know a lot of like people like flock there for like very like rich types will flock there for like, you know, like I'm going to the Hamptons, I'm going to Newport, like that kind of thing. Otherwise, I know Providence, Rhode Island.
Well, that's the capital. It doesn't count.
And but that's my part. I'm like, I know nothing. Living in the East Coast, living in New York, I've never been to Rhode Island.
But here's the thing.
So I'm very fascinated.
I want to go in the winter because I bet they have
to Rhode Island.
5 feet of snow, just sit in a cabin and just be like, ooh. But I don't think there's Black people there.
There's Black people everywhere. Maybe not as many. I don't. But I don't know. But I've never been to Rhode Island, so I don't even know what.
I like the clip. I thought it was very.
I love it. I'm here for it. I think it would be great.
Is that where Bernie Sanders is?
No, it's Vermont.
Okay.
More.
It's all northeast of me. All right, you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Lucy. Hi,
Because he was high, you know.
Hello, we're recording a podcast.